Okay, let the circus begin. As people close to me would know, I love drama. I love to I love to see what's going on. I love to snoop around. Here's a couple of mother-in-law drama that I want to take you all with. Maybe you can drop in your opinion on this and I'm going to drop in my opinion as well. Okay, let's begin. Trying to get away from mother-in-law who doesn't want her son to be away. I don't want to live with my in-laws. Everybody is good except for mother-in-law. It's a very traditional setup, very unlike the one I was in before marriage. My mother-in-law has anger issues. She says mean things to me. I was never in a toxic environment. I also don't want to get used to it. Okay, where was I? Never in a toxic environment. I also don't want to get used to it. Everyone is so used to her outburst. My husband justifies it by saying she was always like this. I hate it. My parents had a meeting with my father in law and husband about her behavior. Father in law said if mother in law kept going like this, he'll get my husband and I to live in some other place. My mother in law was also invited, but they didn't tell nor is she aware that such a meeting took place. They didn't tell her because she'll blow up. My family said, see how it goes for a month or two, and we'll ask for you and your husband to stay by yourself in some flat. It won't go well with my husband since he is very much a mama's boy. I mean, this was expected. I think my family will be able to make my father-in-law agree with this setup. Father-in-law and husband will agree, but they'll be unwilling. Does anybody have experience with with situations like this? One more weird thing. My mother-in-law didn't want my husband to get married to anyone. She says he'll forget about his sisters and her. Oh, damn. This is a classic case of narcissism and emotional incest. I know that's a strong word, incest, but she is so used to, maybe she didn't get enough love and attention from her husband that she tried to get that from her son, and now that she knows that her son's love is going to be directed somewhere else, she is really mad about it. As much as you would like to have these idealistic families, they are just not possible in some cases, and this seems to be one of those cases where maybe therapy would help. Maybe taking her to therapy with you would help to heal your relationships. But until then, yeah, living separately might be the key. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of backlash for saying this, that the newer generation always wants separation, they don't want to work things out, but some bitches are not worth working things out. Let's move on to another mother in law drama. My in laws are making me crazy, I think. So, I'm a white American lady. I'm married to an Indian man. His parents have moved in with us in the US. They have come for visit like 3 to 9 months period of a time, but now they are here for good. They never leave the house, straight up refuse. We have tried to get them involved with local temples and Indian societies, but they won't go. We have tried to get them to take a test so that they can drive by themselves. They won't do it. They don't clean up after themselves ever. Our heating bill is higher than our mortgage. Oh, father in law refuses to wear anything but t shirt and pajamas, but somehow a scarf. The worst part is, I love to cook. My mother in law has taken over the kitchen no matter how hard I try. I can't get time in there. My husband doesn't get it. He thinks it's fine. I also worry I'm being racist or maybe culturally sensitive. Adore my husband. He's an amazing husband and father. He just doesn't get this one thing. I cry daily. I'm depressed. My doctor has me on medication for it. The only times I've felt like this is when they are here for long periods of time, and once they leave, I feel fine again. Do I feel like this because I'm American? Do Indian folks feel like this too? I'm sorry, this is all over the place. I just feel like I'm losing my mind. Okay, but wearing pajama and then having heating in your house, that's not an Indian thing. Come on. The Indian thing is to wear 10 layers of clothes and not have heating in your home at all. The fact that it has gone to the level that you have to take medication, I think you should sit down and have a conversation with them. And regarding the mother-in-law taking over the kitchen, I think she is trying to help you guys. I'm not sure. Crazy that they just came and then stayed. I think we would all benefit so much from just speaking with each other. Like if they wanted to stay, they could have just said that, hey, we are coming to stay with you and we are not planning on leaving. It's that simple. Just have a plain simple conversation. We Indians, we never communicate our feelings to someone. We never tell our plan to someone, and we always take the host for granted. It has happened so many times that so many relatives just come to your place, stay for however long they want, and just leave. They never tell you how much long they are going to stay, how many people are coming, at what time they are coming. They never specify. I don't think you are at the wrong, and I don't think you are being racist. Having a proper communication with them will help. Hope so. I'm rooting for you, babe. Okay, this is a long one. Why are Indian men so influenced by their moms? Why are Indian moms so clingy to their sons? Okay, I have a dry mouth. I need something to lubricate my mouth with. Okay, I'm back with some green tea. Let's get into the tea. Growing up, I've seen a lot of moms being so clingy, especially to their sons than daughters. This becomes worse after the son gets married. It gets so bad that it translates to fight between the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, incessant calling, dictating how he should live his life, restrictions, etc. But there's another side of the coin where the son is incapable of making independent decisions. He is influenced by his mom and sometimes by both parents. Why is it that such adults get influenced by their parents? From personal experience too, I can say that I get influenced by my mom, although I actively try to do what is right for me, but it still affects me. This is in contrast to my sister who follows her heart unabashedly, something which I admire and respect a lot. But even though I try to be like her and follow my heart, I feel guilty and conscious about the things that my mom says, and I can't understand why. This is a genuine question. I'd like some good perspective. I have seen in another sub where they use questions such as this to vent their frustration, but this isn't about that. If you can explain the situation from a psychological point, that would be awesome. So, if you take things on surface level, it's not bad to get your parents' advice, maybe listening to their solution, getting them involved in decision making. Because, I mean, personally speaking, that is how my parents have involved me in their decision making. Even when I was like, I don't know, fucking 6 years old, they still involved me in big decision making process of the house. Whatever it may be, like making dinner or even what paint we should give to our house. So they have involved me when I was a small fucking child with no brain. They have involved me in decision making when I didn't even have a fully developed brain. So getting their perspective when you are an adult is inherently not bad. Having said that, parents have this itch to insert themselves into each aspect of your life. And if you don't draw the boundary early on, they will proceed to invade your boundary. So in this case, what he's saying is that people, especially men, get influenced by their mom. And previously, as I said, especially in Indian household, women don't get love from their husbands. So what they do is they get dependent on their son to get the love and affection that they were looking for from their partner, essentially. Okay, this tea is delicious, by the way, Srushti. Thank you for this tea. And you are admitting yourself that you get influenced by your mom. So I think that's step one, that at least you know what's going on. Step two would be to determine where you want to draw that boundary. For example, what curtains you want for your room. Yeah, get your mom's opinion. She probably knows better than you. But other example would be what degree to pursue. Now, of course, you can get her opinion on that because she would have a lot of friends whose children would maybe be in the same field or not, but she could give her input, but the end decision should be yours. And I think that's what matters. As long as you are taking everyone's input and putting your own brain to it, it shouldn't matter. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, do you guys like this? Is it good for you? Maybe I can do an ASMR video next. What do you think? Okay, next one. This is also a long one. Oh my god. When I make the best impression on my Indian in laws, I'm American. We got off on a shaky relationship because my husband, their golden child, was meant to have an arranged marriage, of course, and instead he married me. We are very happy and just welcomed a baby in June. Alright, so my husband and I have been married since 2019. Oh, the good times before the COVID 2019. We visited his family for 6 weeks last year and all went pretty well. I'm currently learning Telugu. His cousin and cousin's wife and kid are also visiting us, as is my mother in law and father in law. The cousins speak English, my mother in law and father in law do not. I've been cooking daily authentic curries since before we married. I make daily chai multiple times. I participate at the temple when they go, learning the language, etc. While they like me, there still seems to be some disconnect that's largely due to cultural differences. My sense of humor doesn't resonate. I'm very sarcastic, I'm very straightforward. I'm trying to follow their cultural norms, but at times feel a little bit isolated honestly. I'd like to make a good impression. I know everyone is different, but if you were in their place, what things would you like to see? What would reassure you or make you happy? Literally any advice or positive thoughts welcome. ETA. Since this has come up a lot, I figured I should mention I'm not and never will be a pushover. I set boundaries and expect them to be maintained. Okay, good for you. But if there's anything that's reasonable and I should be doing that I may not have thought of and is respectful, I would love to know. Example, when we were in India, they were all shocked that I sat on floor with my athaya and folded laundry. What is athaya? I'm ashamed that I don't know and I'm Indian and she is not. To me, that seemed natural. Everyone else was just sitting around, but little things like this that may make them happy. First of all, I would give you some credit because you're already doing a lot of things. You are cooking the local cuisine, making chai, of course. You are already doing amazing. That you're already learning their language, you're making their food. So you're on a good start. Second thing, do not do things that are not sustainable in the long run. Because, for example, this is a very stupid example, but bear with me. If you wake up and touch their feet every day, this is a very Indian thing that you touch feet of elders. So, if you touch their feet every day because you want to impress them, they will be impressed, of course. But over a time, you don't want to impress them anymore. So maybe you don't do that. Now they are expecting that from you, even though they didn't expect that from you earlier, but you set those expectations yourself. So I hope you're getting what I said. It's not about touching feet. Maybe get take any other example, but my point is do things that you think are doable in every day, and don't just do things to get their validation, because the validation will fade off and you will still have to do those things that you forced yourself to do. And apart from this, maybe ask your husband what you could do. He knows his parents well, so he could guide you with what could make his parents happy. Okay, last one here. Last one, my throat already hurts. Couples with non-veg and veg in-laws, do you even how do you even live peacefully? Life has been a constant balancing act. My wife loves to have non-veg food. My parents are vegetarian, the strict kind that prefers eggless cake, eat only at pure veg restaurants. Mom wants to come over to our city for a few weeks to take care of her newborn grandchild, but I don't want my wife to suddenly have to adjust to a vegetarian diet during the first month recovery period. Told my mother we'll take care of the baby ourselves. Tried convincing my mother for a shorter visit now, for a few days. But the longer visit in a few months, she cut the call. Man. So, first of all, props to you to even take stand on your wife's behalf and letting your mom know she should cut her visit. But how did this not come up before the marriage? How could you marry someone before knowing their eating preference, their religious preference? These things should have come before marrying, not after. But yeah, props to you for standing up for your wife. And as far as your mom's concerned, I don't know how that goes. My own mother had to give up non veg because my father's family was vegetarian. So she didn't have meat for so long, and I feel so bad for her because now I won't even listen to anyone who says that you can't eat chicken or you can't eat meat. Because why the fuck not? It's my fucking belly. Who are you to tell me what I should eat or what I should not eat? That being said, I think it's good that you guys live separately. You guys don't live with them, but yeah, if she was to come for a few days, it's doable. But if she comes for like a few months, you might want to have talk with her. If she's going to come for longer, you will have to discuss it inevitably at some point. And if she's cutting your call right now because you want to cut short her trip, she would cut you out of the will if you tell her that your wife wants to have chicken in her presence. That's really brutal. Okay, I like this response. They say the most sensible thing to do is to explain your mom that you eat non-veg at home. The doctor have advised a protein-heavy diet, so if your mom wants to come, she might have to adjust little. Considering she is a hardcore vegetarian, I think it would bother her a bit. She might throw tantrums, but that can't even stop non-veg for no, 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 no. But first things first, be honest with her, and then you can proceed based on how she responds. It's always the person who eats non-vegetarian that has to adjust, right? It infuriates me